about. This has never before been seen. In fact, it even surprised some of the veteran people in the Capitol Police and others that we showed it to over the last few days. It occurred on the afternoon of January 6, 2021. There was, at that moment, a breach in the Capitol. Police were scrambling around, and something unusual happened. We've heard about this incident. It's been rumored for months that there was what they call the yellow bag incident, that a bag of gear, police gear, was brought into the Capitol by police. They lost track of it, and they allowed some of the bad guys to get a hold of it. Let's just start to roll the tape. I'm going to narrate what you're seeing going on here. This is a door on the Lower East Side of the Capitol. You're going to see some Capitol Police officers coming in. It's right after the breach. There's two of them. There's the third one. He's bringing that famous yellow bag, or what will soon be a famous yellow. He drops it. Now look what's going on here, folks. There are plastic handcuffs in it. They fall on the ground. 2 pairs of them on the ground. Those are now accessible to anyone outside the Capitol. Here, just a few minutes later, a person, one of the protesters, we believe, comes up, tries to get in the doors. He can't. So he grabs one of the plastic handcuffs and he tries to lock the door. This is going to become consequential in just a few minutes. The first time he does it, doesn't go so well. He clearly doesn't know how to use these zip plastic handcuffs. He goes and gets the other one. And pick that up in a second. And now he's going to put it on the door successfully, locking the door from the outside, keeping people, this is a fire door, by the way, people from being able to exit. A few minutes later, protesters start spraying the Capitol Police with fire extinguisher. You're going to see the spray coming in. You can see the police fleeing what is a dangerous situation. They're having a hard time seeing and breathing, and they cannot get out the door because that set of handcuffs that they lost control of now blocking the door, and you can see them trying to bust the door. They ultimately are able to break through that door to safety, but not without a lot of effort and really a major security mishap. But we're far from done. There you see the officers coming out. You can see a couple of them are pretty overcome by the noxious gas from that fire extinguisher. There's one gentleman there trying to catch his breath. You can see how dark the plume of smoke was in there from that fire hydrant. Kind of a dangerous and uncomfortable circumstance. But the police aren't done yet. They're going to get their bearings about, and now they're going to grab that bag again. Just keep an eye here in a second. We're going to get to another part of the videotape. This is 5 different cameras synchronized over about a 20-minute time. There they got the bag back. They're taking it inside now, and they're dropping it there. You can see there's a crowd looking to come into that door now. The police are trying to keep them out. That doesn't last very long, and soon you're going to see another piece of equipment. Looks like a hard-shelled case is being brought in by the police as well, put on the other side. 2 pieces of what we believe to be law enforcement equipment, whether it's Capitol Police or private citizens, we don't know. We have some things we're going to tell you in a second. Now a protester with that flag comes in. Look at this. He grabs the bag back. He's not done. He's going to grab the hard shell case as well, and he's going to go out the door. Valuable gear that could potentially be used against law enforcement going right out the door past Capitol Police. Now, a little while later, some good Samaritans, there's the police, they're going to close the door, but now the gear, the bag is outside, no longer in police custody. We're going to close that door. Now check out here in a second. Some good Samaritans, we believe, bring the bag back. They return it to the Capitol and put it in front of the door. We don't know if they're good Samaritans or just some part of an operation, but they're dropping the bag back there as well as the hard shell case. All right, look at that. The hard shell case now open. And you're going to see in a few seconds, someone put one of the helmets, one of the police helmets or riot helmets back in that case. I'm going to put it out in front of the door here. A couple minutes later, the police not aware of what's going on outside. Another person comes, or a couple of guys here come, and they open up these bags, and they're going to start taking some other equipment, including a police helmet and other things. Now, we have shown this to numerous Capitol Police current and former officials, as well as law enforcement instructors. And they say, listen, this is a major breach of security and a failure by police. We don't know if this is Capitol Police gear, private gear. Several of the people said that looked like the gear that maybe the protective division of the Capitol Police sometimes keeps in their car. Maybe people broke into the car, got it. Maybe it was brought in. It might even be private gear from people on the outside. Those are questions that police have not answered for us. In fact, Capitol Police won't talk to us. But you do see that the police have lost control of it. They had custody of it. They lost control of it, and obviously there were some security consequences as a result of it to almost a person. Every security expert we showed this to over the last several days said a major failure by Capitol Police. They should have kept control of this gear, not allowed the rioters or protesters to get it. In fact, they said in Police Academy, it's one of the first lessons that trainees get. Never lose control of gear that can be used against you in a violent or unstable situation. So that's the end of the tape. You've now had a chance to really get a good look at it. Very interesting, very unlikely things you didn't see from the January 6th committee, right? We didn't see this back then. We've not found anyone charged with the crimes that appear to be on this tape. Now we're going to bring in our first guest. He's been leading the investigation to figure out what went wrong on January 6th and how we can make the U.S. Capitol safer. He's Georgia Congressman Barry Loudermilk, chairman of one of the House Administration's investigative committees. He joins us now. Congressman, I'd just like to get your reaction to what we just saw in that footage.
Well, the comment that you made was one of the things that went wrong. We're still trying to find those things that actually went right, which are few and far between. But this is really a strange video. And the more that we look at these 44,000 hours of video, we start finding these anomalies that the January 6th Select Committee obviously chose to ignore. And this is very strange. And we have many questions as you do. And now this has been brought to our attention as many other pieces of video as, what's going on here? When I first look at it, the police are bringing this yellow bag in. One thing we know, this was a failure of command and control within the Capitol Police because of an intelligence failure, right. And as well as the over-politicization of the Capitol Police by members of leadership. And so this may have been riot gear, that we have these civil disturbance units that were in position, but they were told because of the optics, they weren't allowed to have their riot gear. Those were stored in buses close by. Maybe this was some of that riot gear that was actually being brought in finally. But also, as I watch what you're seeing right now, the gentleman who is zip tying the door together with the handcuffs. From my intelligence background, investigative background, the first thing I think of is this guy coordinating with the people on the inside? Because you got people on the inside who are about to, right. go after these officers with extinguishers. Were they coordinating together, or was this just circumstance? There's just so many unanswered questions that all of this is important to ensuring that we can secure the Capitol in the future. And quite frankly, this is the type of thing that the January 6th Select Committee should have been doing. But instead, they decided to take it a full political path, and no one has really addressed these security failures until we're looking into it.